Shedeur is going to start at quarterback. Obviously, we got to put a plan together.
Why all of a sudden you have changed your whole demeanor surrounding around Shedeur Sanders?
A coach that doesn't even mention his player's name.
And I'll say it again. I do not think Kevin Stefanski wants Shedeur Sanders to succeed in Cleveland.
You holding him back from his full potential.
Man, this whole storyline almost blew apart the moment Kevin Stefanski switched up his entire energy on Shedeur Sanders. 1 second he's calm and steady, the same quiet coach Cleveland is used to, and the next he flips into this intense, calculated mode that had the NFL timeline lighting up like someone dropped a spark in a fireworks warehouse.
Of Shedeur Sanders' first NFL start as a rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Now, all of a sudden, Kevin Stefanski's whole demeanor has changed surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. He said some things about Shedeur Sanders that raised my eyebrows. So I got to think. Shedeur Sanders was named QB1.
It felt like he was stepping into his own dramatic mastermind arc, and nobody could tell whether he was being brilliant, reckless, or a wild mix of both, but you could feel it was intentional. The twist was so unexpected it almost bent football logic into a knot. The night before Shedeur's first NFL start should have been calm, a simple countdown where everyone just hopes the rookie survives Max Crosby on national TV. But Cleveland never gets simple moments, because Stefanski chose that exact night to change his whole personality, like someone hit a secret switch inside him. 1 minute he's giving off the same neutral, quiet presence, almost like a walking spreadsheet with a pulse, and then suddenly he's talking with this strange confidence, like watching Shedeur's footwork unlock some cosmic football code for him. Something shifted, something slick, and he didn't bother hiding a single bit of it. Everything started earlier in the week when the football gods spun the wheel of chaos and landed right on. Dillon Gabriel enters concussion protocol. That news alone had Browns fans holding their chests like their emotional lifeline got unplugged. The panic was real, loud, and rising fast. And right when the stress hit the peak, here comes Shedeur, calm, collected, and stepping forward like he had already seen this moment in his mind 100 times. He jogged out with zero hesitation. No warm-up routine, no last-minute nerves, no starter reps from practice, just pure confidence and the kind of belief people have when they pick a restaurant without reading one single review. And the wildest part? He didn't flinch at all, not 1 second. This wasn't random, this wasn't luck. This was a rookie walking into the fire like it was the plan the entire time, while Stefanski acted like he'd been secretly preparing for this twist since training camp. The timing felt too clean, too precise, like the universe cracked the door open and Stefanski sprinted through it. And the way Shedeur stepped into that moment, it felt like everything suddenly clicked with a force nobody in the league saw coming. He gets thrown into the second half against Baltimore, a defense known for making full-grown players question their whole career path, and instead of folding, he shows real promise, clear, bold, and impossible to miss. This wasn't the kind of maybe someday potential that needs a scouting lab to decode. This was plain as day. The Browns coaching staff probably expected him to freeze up, stumble around, panic breathe into a paper bag, or mentally tap out on the spot, but he didn't crack at all. He walked in calm, poised, and sharp, and the fans instantly caught a spark of hope. Even crazier, Kevin Stefanski, Mr. Poker Face himself, caught actual emotions on the sideline. That alone was shocking because Stefanski normally talks like someone downloaded a software update called Basic Coach Mode, dropping 5-second answers with the same energy as a slow printer.
Shedeur is going to start at quarterback. Dillon is still in the concussion protocol. He is improving, but obviously we got to put a plan together for all of our players, all of our offense, our defense, our special teams, plan of attack.
But this week, he's different. Not bouncing off walls or throwing confetti, but noticeably more alive. Like somebody slipped triple shot espresso into his water bottle without giving him a heads up. Then came the real explosion of the week. Shedeur Sanders was officially named QB1 for the Raiders game. Not a short-term sub, not an emergency Band-Aid, not a let's-see-what-happens experiment. He was declared the guy, the starter, the quarterback of record. And here's the part that had Cleveland fans rubbing their eyes. He earned that title off half a game and 0 first-team reps. That alone is wild enough to make any organization stop and stare. But what happened next took everything to a new level. Kevin Stefanski didn't just look relieved. He didn't just look proud. He looked thrilled. Genuinely, noticeably thrilled. Like naming Shedeur the starter unlocked something he'd been holding inside for weeks. The same coach who normally walks around with the facial expression of someone solving third-down algebra suddenly had real brightness in his eyes, like he just stumbled on hidden treasure. That's when the truth finally slipped out. Shedeur Sanders wasn't getting first-team reps all preseason, all camp, all OTAs.
Wants the best interest for his players.
These haters trying to hold me back.
That was his first time having reps with the one. And the excuse was this: we're trying to prioritize reps for Dylan Gabriel. Did Dylan Gabriel get any reps when he was the number 2 guy behind the starter of Joe Flacco?
Nothing at all. He had basically been practicing like a secret backup stored away for emergencies, almost like a designated survivor kept locked in a quiet corner until the chaos hit. But now he's running with the starters and looking smooth, confident, and fully in command of the offense, and it's wild to watch. Suddenly, the entire team is staring at him like, dang, maybe all he needed was the real squad around him to show he truly belongs out there. The shift is loud, obvious, and impossible to deny. And Stefanski, yes, that's Stefanski, has finally seen what everyone outside Berea has been shouting for months. He just couldn't ignore it anymore. The throws, the presence, the calm energy under pressure. All the traits that make defensive coordinators mutter, "Oh no," under their breath are standing right in front of him in living color. You can practically picture Stefanski at practice watching Shador rip passes across the field like a man watching someone ride a bike without training wheels for the first time.
The reason being is, don't tell me what he said, don't tell me what he's saying. I'm going off of actions. All right, let's go off actions. The actions is, if I'm Shedeur or if I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan, I would not want him to take the field, because that's going to consistently be the display we're going to see. It doesn't matter if it's Deshaun Watson, it doesn't matter if it's Shedeur Sanders, it doesn't matter if it's Dylan Gabriel, it doesn't matter if it's Dan Orlovsky.
Proud, shocked, and slightly nervous all at once. It's that mix of, I knew he could do it, and I can't believe he just did that, all mashed together. Shedeur's receivers feel the shift too. The O-line feels it. There's this new current in the air when he steps under center, something steady and confident, where he suddenly looks less like a rookie trying to survive and more like someone quietly declaring, "I'm the captain now." It's subtle, but it hits hard. And apparently, Stefanski didn't miss a single detail of that new swagger. He caught all of it, the command, the control, the confidence, and it left him looking like a coach who just realized the player he kept tucked away might actually be the one who changes everything. That's when the coach's whole vibe started mutating. Slow, steady, almost like he was shape-shifting into a completely different dude right in front of everyone. By the time Kevin Stefanski sat down for the Browns preview interview, he couldn't hide a single thing bubbling inside him. The man looked wired, like someone plugged him straight into a power outlet. His voice had a spark it never has. His face kept fighting off an actual smile, and he spoke like a man who just realized his job security might rest in the hands of Shedeur Sanders. This is the same coach who refused to give Shedeur first-team reps all preseason, all camp, all OTAs, none of it. But now he's talking like Shedeur has been training in some secret superhero facility all year long. Suddenly he's praising his preparation, hyping up his work ethic, breaking down his mechanics like a proud mentor, and highlighting tiny details he didn't acknowledge at all just days earlier. And honestly, this is classic coach energy when they realize they judged someone wrong.
Thing about Shedeur. Training camp. Shedeur keeps the main thing the main thing.
Oh, he was saying his name then?
Yeah, he was saying it then. He was asked if he was considered playing Sanders. He said, "That's not my focus."
At this point in time, Shedeur is the number 3 quarterback on the depth chart. So it's easy for him to deflect. He does not mention his name starting in October. Also, what happens in October? Joe Flacco gets traded. This is
There's always that quiet panic, that under-the-surface scramble to rewrite the whole story and pretend they've been believers since day one. Stefanski might never say it with his mouth, but his energy is yelling, "I've loved Shedeur this whole time." It's the same vibe people give when they pretend they loved a song before it blew up online. Now he's pitching the idea that Shedeur has been grinding nonstop, mastering every detail, doing all the small stuff. And the funny part? That part is actually true. Shedeur really has been putting in the work, but let's be real. Stefanski never sounded this impressed before. You don't go from "we'll see" energy to full-on sparkle in the eyes unless something major flipped the whole script. And that something was almost definitely Stefanski, watching Shedeur take legit first-team reps for the first time and realizing he might have left his best quarterback sitting on the practice shelf like some forgotten clearance item. Nobody double-checked. Nobody asked if the rookie needed more run. They just let him sit there until chaos forced their hand. And now it looks like they've accidentally discovered gold. Now the Raiders game is creeping up fast. Las Vegas bright lights, loud crowd, energy everywhere. And Max Crosby bringing that wild aggression he always brings. And across the field, Pete Carroll is trying to rebuild a team he walked into like a firefighter entering a burning warehouse.
Ridiculous to sit there. I mean, just sometimes you gotta, Cam, I enjoy watching Cam Newton sometimes. Sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and say what you're about to say before you say it, and then think about how it sounds when you're by yourself. A coach of an NFL team who's desperate. I wish I would have
done that many times.
Who's trying to save his job.
Yesterday morning.
Mind you, I think everybody knows Kevin Stefanski's up against it here.
Both squads at 2-8, which sounds rough until you remember why everybody's tuning in. This isn't about records. This is about Shedor's first real showcase under the big lights. Expect cameras everywhere. Expect the broadcast crew sweating because they've got too many highlight angles ready. Expect someone in the production truck panicking because the kid keeps doing something that forces them to switch shots every 5 seconds. And here's the part that makes everything even crazier. Stefanski knows all of this. He knows the hype is alive. He knows the whole league is watching. He knows the Browns haven't felt this type of electricity in years. Out of nowhere, he suddenly wants to be part of the story, or at least part of the credit. That's when his whole demeanor stops looking like excitement and starts looking like strategy. The man is straightening his posture, adjusting his tone, choosing words like he's disarming something dangerous. He's stepping soft, way too soft, like he's prepping himself to say, I always saw this in him. Because here's the truth no coach wants to admit. If Shedeur tears it up on Sunday, the world will immediately ask why he wasn't starting earlier.
Finally get to see him on the field.
To me, this is his chance to make a statement that we've waited to have him make since draft night. To all the people that passed him up on draft night, to all the reasons he didn't get snaps with the first team offense, to the organization that may not have supported him the way that other people thought. Well, here's your chance. You get the whole week practicing with the first team. You're playing the Raiders, a beatable team. You get the start. It's your show.
That's why this sudden twinkle in Stefanski's eyes is so entertaining. It's not just excitement. It's coaching politics, image control, and a coach trying to make sure he's not the guy who slept on a breakout star right under his nose. It really feels like Kevin Stefanski wants the whole world to believe he always knew Shedeur Sanders had this in him, even though Shedeur spent the entire summer being treated like the NFL's quiet understudy. Present, talented, but barely acknowledged. It suddenly sounds like Stefanski wants credit for spotting a future star before anybody else. It's the same vibe people give when their neighbor's kid becomes a millionaire and they start acting like they always knew greatness was right next door. But maybe, just maybe, Stefanski actually got hit with real excitement this time. Maybe he watched Shedeur run those first-team drills and felt something spark inside him. Something close to a spiritual jolt that made him realize this kid might actually be capable of carrying an entire franchise on his back. Maybe he saw the receivers vibing with him, the O-line locking in for him, and the whole offense shifting around him with new energy, and thought, well, I'll be darned. Anything is possible in this league. Whatever he saw, it flipped a switch inside him for real. His body language gave everything away before he even spoke a word. There was extra bounce in his step, a tiny smile sneaking through the posture of a man holding on to a secret he wasn't ready to reveal yet. And suddenly, Stefanski looked like someone who had stumbled onto something big, really big. And now everybody's asking the same question. Is he playing checkers, or is he scrambling not to look stunned that a rookie just walked in and performed like that? Is Stefanski trying to spin the narrative? Is he trying to run a clever little chess play while the rest of the league watches Shedeur shine brighter than anyone expected? Because the switch-up is loud, almost theatrical. And this is the same coach who hasn't flashed a real smile since the Obama years, and all of a sudden he's giving off, I just found a golden ticket, energy. Fans are staring at him like, since when does this man sound this happy about anything? The transformation is so dramatic it almost deserves its own soundtrack. The funniest part is imagining the internal panic that probably hit him the moment he realized Shedeur is now the most watched rookie in the league.
Trade and Dillon Gabriel struggles, it certainly seems like other prominent members of the organization want to see what they have. And that, to me, would indicate Andrew Berry trading away Joe Flacco when Kevin Stefanski made Joe Flacco the QB2 behind Dillon Gabriel instead of Shedeur Sanders. So how do the Browns get Shedeur Sanders moved up the depth chart? Simply remove Joe Flacco from the equation. It seems to me like there is no longer alignment on this situation.
You could practically feel the vibe inside him flip from mute button to full megaphone. It's all part of that classic NFL tradition, acting like you foresaw greatness the whole time, when in reality, the greatness just blasted you straight in the face out of nowhere. But now there's no hiding it at all. Not when the cameras are rolling. Not when Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field under those blazing Vegas lights, with Max Crosby stalking him like some side quest boss ready to strike at any moment. Not when the whole football world is zoomed in so tight you can practically feel the pressure shaking through the screen. This is the moment everybody's been waiting for. And Stefanski knows he's either about to look like a genius, or like the coach who didn't give his rookie real reps until the universe shoved him straight into the spotlight. His whole vibe is screaming the truth. Excitement, nerves, strategy, hope. and just a tiny sprinkle of panic all swirling together like some emotional tornado. Is the timing sneaky? Maybe. A little convenient? For sure. Entertaining? Absolutely, because this game has everything. Shedeur's real debut, Stefanski's sudden personality flip, Vegas lights blasting from every corner, and stakes stacked sky high. And here's where things go from dramatic to full-on chaotic. The moment people started breaking down Stefanski's whole energy shift, the theories started flying faster than Crosby exploding off the edge. Fans everywhere started throwing out their own explanations like they were running their own investigation. Some swear Stefanski has been plotting this from the very beginning. They picture him sitting alone in a dark film room, connecting red strings across a giant wall covered in Shedeur screenshots like he's filming the NFL's version of a conspiracy documentary. It's a hilarious image, but honestly, the way he's acting now, you can't blame anyone for believing it. Others say his whole vibe switch happened the moment he watched Shedeur run one perfect 2-minute drill in practice. Just one. Something in Stefanski's brain supposedly rebooted right then and there, like an old Windows XP loading screen firing back to life. Suddenly, the man went from monotone introvert to someone who looks like he's been waiting for this storyline his whole coaching career. Either way, the shift is loud, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. But the funniest theory is honestly the one that makes the most sense. Stefanski didn't fully understand how good Shedeur Sanders really was until he finally let the kid touch the real equipment. It's like keeping a world-class racehorse locked in a barn all off-season, and the second you let it stretch its legs, it blasts off like it's auditioning for an Olympic commercial. That's basically what happened here. Now Stefanski has to act like this sudden explosion of talent was part of his mastermind plan the entire time. So he's dropping little hints about work ethic, discipline, attention to detail, carefully stitching together a brand new narrative quilt piece by piece. He wants people, especially Browns fans, to believe he's been locked in on Shador from day one, like this was always the plan. And the funniest part, fans have been whispering for weeks that Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, sounded way more fired up about Shedeur than Stefanski ever did. Rees has been bubbling with energy every time the rookie's name comes up. The man lights up like he's describing a 5-star meal every time he talks about Shedeur. Fans even joke that Rees adopted Shedeur like some long-lost quarterback's son. And honestly, the energy matched it. So naturally, Stefanski had to crank up his excitement level. He's not about to let the OC start looking more like the head coach than the actual head coach. Not in Cleveland, not during a season this dramatic. That's how NFL power battles start, one enthusiastic press conference at a time. You know Stefanski heard the chatter. He saw the posts. He definitely caught at least one clip of Tommy Rees talking about Shedeur with the excitement of someone reviewing a Michelin star dish. Between that and the hype exploding around Sunday's matchup, Stefanski had no choice but to turn his enthusiasm thermostat way up before the whole building started heating up without him. But nothing, and I mean nothing, matches the stakes of this Vegas game. The lights, the noise, the energy, the pressure, it's all building into a moment so intense that even the calmest coach would feel the weight of it. Vegas isn't just another city, and this isn't just another matchup. This is the game where every storyline crashes together. Shedeur's real debut, the coaching drama, the quarterback tension, the hype that's been growing louder by the hour. Everything is hanging in the air, waiting to explode the second kickoff hits. That's why Stefanski's sudden demeanor shift feels almost diabolical, in a clever way, not an evil one. It's smart, calculated, crafted so clean it slides him exactly where he wants to be in the storyline. When the dust settles, he either becomes the wise coach who believed in the rookie from the jump, or he positions himself as the calm captain guiding a fresh quarterback through deep waters like some seasoned navigator. Every expression, every tone, every tiny spark of excitement feels like a chess piece being moved 3 squares ahead. He knows if Shedeur Sanders lights it up in Vegas, his own coaching stock shoots straight through the ceiling. He knows if Shedeur struggles, he can lean on the classic rookie learning curve explanation and shrug it off without taking a hit. He's playing both sides like someone who refuses to get caught slipping, no matter how wild things get. And here's the funniest part. There's no escaping the truth anymore. Shedeur completely flipped the energy inside that facility the moment he touched QB1 reps. Everything shifted instantly. The huddle chemistry, the tempo, the whole rhythm of practice, you could feel it right away. The confidence in the receivers jumped. The O-line locked in differently. The vibe got sharper, louder, more alive. The whole atmosphere started moving like a squad that finally realized their spark had walked into the room and decided to stay. Even the defensive players started carrying themselves like they were protecting treasure instead of holding on to fragile hope. It's unmistakable energy. And everybody knows one thing for sure. Stefanski didn't create that energy. Shedeur did. It's Shedeur's pull that has the whole squad moving in the same orbit now. The way he shifts a room, the way he changes the energy, the way players suddenly stand straighter when he steps in, that's all his doing. This vibe change has turned into one of the most entertaining storylines of the entire Browns season because it's messy, accidental, dramatic, and filled with the type of wild comedy only the NFL knows how to deliver. And as everyone waits for Sunday's showdown, one thing is clearer than sunlight. Whatever Stefanski saw in practice this week flipped his entire outlook in an instant. It didn't just change him. It didn't just change the Browns. It changed the entire narrative wrapped around Shedeur Sanders, loud enough for the whole league to feel the shift. Now the entire football world is strapped in like it's movie night, popcorn ready, waiting to see what happens under those bright Vegas lights. Will this sudden spark in Stefanski turn into a legendary chapter of Browns history? Or will it go down as one of the funniest accidental comedies the league has delivered in years? Either way, nobody's looking away now. The wildest part of all this is that Cleveland didn't just stumble into a storyline. They walked straight into a full-blown quarterback awakening, and now the whole league is holding its breath to see where this goes next. Shedeur Sanders has turned 1 week of chaos into the most electric moment the Browns have had in years, and nothing about it feels accidental. The rookie stepped into the fire like he knew the door was opening just for him, and once he took control, the entire building moved with him. Stefanski can shift his tone, adjust his smile, and clean up the storyline all he wants. But the truth is loud. Shedeur changed everything the second he touched those QB1 reps. The Browns felt it. The fans felt it. Even the league felt that jolt like someone flipped the stadium lights on at midnight. This isn't hype anymore. This is a real quarterback takeover happening in real time. Now Vegas is waiting. Bright lights, huge stage. Max Crosby bringing pressure like a runaway train. And here comes Shedeur, walking into it with that calm, confident look that rattles people who aren't ready for greatness. This moment isn't just a debut, it's a declaration. It's the type of night that either launches a new era or becomes the clip everyone replays for years because of how wild it was. But one thing is certain. The world will be watching every movement, every throw, every second of this kid's command. This isn't just another rookie stepping in. This is a quarterback stepping into his story with the whole league glued to the screen. And you already know, we'll have every second of it broken down. Every twist, every leak, every hidden play behind the headlines. So like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share it out. Stay locked in with Huddle Files, where the real NFL stories live.